Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Apex Clubhouse, episode 5, packed with things to talk to you about. We've got so much happening across the wide world of sports. And as always, I'm Stacey along with Ben, and we can't wait to dive into everything that we've got going on. Also, I use dive in a lot. I feel like I need to shuffle up that expression.
Well, we dive in. We're supporting the swimming group today.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But anyway, Ben, there's been so much happening, and it feels like every day, because we pay attention to all sports, all genders, at every level, from the collegiate side and even the semi-pro and professional side, there's never any shortage of things happening across the entire ecosystem of athletics.
Yeah, it's really fun. And if you're just joining us, we're with Apex, apexathletes.ai. We're a private membership association, and we're here to support athletes in all sports and all genders, and it's all United States. If you're over 18 and you're in college, you have a 2.8 GPA or higher. And if you're a professional athlete, there's obviously no GPA requirement. And we're loving providing resources to you. And there's no better time to provide education on what's going on, because there's so many changes with rules, regulations, and opportunities to play overseas, and different leagues starting and different investments popping up, and different, management, changing place of ownership of teams, and just tons of opportunities for kids to play college sports and professional sports and get paid to do it.
And we are live. So this is something that we've been working on for months now, and we just launched last Wednesday and then immediately had to go out of town for our son's wedding. But we are in the throes of it right now. We are delivering this to vendors nationwide, athletes nationwide, athletic directors nationwide, coaches nationwide. I mean, it is available to everybody. And in a landscape of not knowing where to find your information, not having the resources, not knowing who to talk to, who to trust, everything is changing all the time. That's what we're so committed to and passionate about, is distilling all of that into one membership and one club. And it's $10 a month. When we think about how much our members spend on going to camps and additional practices, coaching, gear, travel, all of that. But then if you're not in a position where you can plan your future, if you're not in a position where you know what your budgets are, if you don't have a social media strategy, if you don't know how to brand, if you don't know how to find companies and businesses to work with, then everything that you're doing to be great at your discipline isn't resulting in something for you to help you be successful and make some money in the process. And that's everything that we do. That's what Apex is all about. It's just that club. It's a club for athletes, and it provides everything that you could possibly need for $10.
Yeah, and one of our passions is we're going to talk about several things today, but we're just going to go like hard hitting and topic after topic today. So it's going to be power packed, full of content and really good resources for you to, lean into and get from us. And really, there's so much money going into the top 2% or top 1% of athletes, the quarterbacks at NCAA and people you see on TV. But really what we want to do and what we're really passionate about is providing opportunities for kids to brand themselves, and to, if you play AA or if you play single A baseball and you want to play AA, we give you resources on how to get paid to do that, and how to enter the portal if you're in soccer or football and you want to play junior college, you want to move up to D2, we're here for that too. So yeah, we're here for all the athletes and all the sports, and we've really built this platform for everybody to really gain a lot of value. And like you said, it's $10 a month. You can't even fill your car up for 3 or 4 days worth for that. Yeah. So
2 gallons of gas.
Yeah, we're really proud of it. So
all right, well, let's get going, because we do have quite a list of people to talk about today, and we are going to start with what's happening at ASU. So we've got Kelly and Brian, and tell us what's going on with this $10 million to ASU football.
Well, so in the land of what an NIL deal is and a brand partnership, this would fall under an NIL deal. So it's a booster. It's a billionaire, wealthy family, Brian and Kelly Sweetie, and they gave a ton of money to the Arizona State football team. So they're passionate about Arizona State, but they also are passionate about football. So football is going to get the $10 million that they're donating, and they're really excited about it, which is absolutely awesome. What I want to bring to light is a lot of players are coming to Arizona State. They're going to have a great football program. They're going to pack that stadium full. It's going to be really fun to watch. They're going to have licensing agreements. They're going to make a ton of money and get a lot of national attention. And this money will go towards a good use. It's going to really further their program and give them a lot of resources to be successful for the school. That being said, if you play tennis, this doesn't do anything for you. If you want to play your Arizona State tennis, it doesn't add a dime to the program for that. So we want to just highlight that it's awesome that people are giving. This just happens to be $10 million for the football team.
Then what is Adam Wexler doing? What's happening with the founder of Prize Picks?
Almost the exact same thing. He is a very passionate Georgia Bulldog fan. He gave $10 million and he gave it to the basketball program. So it's the largest single donation the basketball team has ever received. 10 million bucks straight to the NCAA basketball team at Georgia.
That's unbelievable, because when I think about Georgia and athletics, I don't think that there's a deficit of money available to them, so that for them to get that infusion of $10 million from one person is just crazy. I mean, the amount of money that exists out in the world that's available for people is just next level.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what Adam Wexler's doing. And then we got to talk about Curt Cignetti.
So Curt Cignetti is the head football coach at Indiana. They won the national championship last year. Fernando Mendoza was the quarterback. Most people are aware. Mark Cuban tried to get him to stay. He said, no, thank you. I'm going to go to the NFL. He was playing for the Raiders now. And Curt Cignetti said, all right, I got to fill this void of, losing my star quarterback. So he had to go out into the market and go find a replacement for him. He picked up a TCU quarterback from the portal, Josh Hoover. He's going to pay him $2.3 million to take the fill the shoes of Fernando.
Welcome to Apex, the premier private membership association built exclusively for the modern athlete. This is your command center, designed to elevate your career, your brand, and your future. Take control of your earnings from day one. Our brand partnership tax calculator instantly estimates your liabilities, mapping out quarterly payments so you are never caught off guard. With the Athlete Budget Builder, financial literacy becomes second nature. Track your guaranteed income, manage expenses, and watch your monthly surplus grow as you build real wealth. Are you truly ready for the next level? Assess your professional readiness dynamically. Track everything from contract literacy and representation to player rights and health coverage. Unlock your market value. Our social media growth planner builds a customized 3, 6, 9, or 12-month strategy for your sport, providing content pillars and roadmaps to attract premier brand partnerships. Stay ahead of the game with The Edge. Access curated industry insights and leverage our proprietary AI Envoy to analyze complex contracts and sports business news instantly. Enjoy exclusive member-only perks from the world's leading brands, elevate your profile, build your inner circle, and claim your edge. Welcome to the Apex family.
Unbelievable ad. I love that music.
Me too. Cignetti needs to replace Mendoza, which is wild, but with $34 million in your coffer, that's not quite so difficult.
Yeah, Jeff Hoover, $2.3 million, and that's about what every college quarterback is getting this year in the top 40 schools, the top 40 programs. So that's on par, but he said that $34 million is what he needs to get back to the national championship, and so he's got to go in the market and get some good players, and so that's what he's done.
That is so crazy to me that he's just like, I need $34 million to be competitive. Imagine what that conversation was like 4 years ago, before all of this was happening, before these players were making a bunch of money, think about the time with like the Reggie Bushes playing on the field, right? Like nobody was asking for $34 million.
Yeah, no, you couldn't even give a player rent money for his mom.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of coaches in the country are having this conversation right now and saying that it's basically going to take $20+ million to get to the national championship in football. So that's where that's at. Carson Beck made $10 million with his NIL endorsements, and he went to the NFL and took a huge pay cut. So he was better off staying in college. With all the endorsements and the NIL stuff, it's actually getting easier and better to make money in college football. So
that's just it blows my mind. I mean, it has become such a business. It's become such a professional sport at a collegiate level. It's amazing to feel like you can make more money as a college player than you can as a professional player. And this is really informing the decisions that people make when they're thinking about entering the portal or how they can boost their market value going somewhere else. And then you look at people like Garrett Nussmeier who like refused to leave LSU. And it's just so interesting. It's so interesting to me, and it will never stop being just super interesting, especially where the coaches are concerned, because the coaches are getting involved now and the coaches are making money on this side. They've got additional things popping up. Like we've got Matt Rule and his podcast deal. So tell us more about what he's got going on.
Well, yeah, one last football story before we move on in the coaching thing. Matt Rule, his $5 million deal was a nice little icing on the cake as part of his contract with Nebraska to bring awareness, to get recruiters, to get recruiting on the map, and just really provide some transparency on what their strategy is and get people excited about joining Nebraska. They just signed a flag football player. She's the first female flag football player to receive a scholarship to play college flag football. So he just gave that to her the other day. So that's big news. And at first I thought it was kind of ridiculous that Nebraska was going to pay for this podcast, but they're going to get a lot of traction out of this. And it also provides a bonus for Matt Rule in a non-taxable. It's still taxed, but it's taxed in a different way. So there's some strategy behind why they did it this way instead of just giving him more money as like a W-2 employee of the university. So anyway, it's pretty cool to see that going on. So I like it.
I like the idea of coaches having that kind of exposure, right? Like so many of us do that Monday morning quarterback thing, or I guess in college football, it'd be Sunday morning quarterbacking, where we talk a lot about where things went wrong or what ought to have happened. And for Matt to have a podcast opportunity to take you behind the scenes into the locker room, into the coach's room, to talk about plans and strategy, to talk about who the players are, get to know people a little bit better. There's like a whole behind the scenes thing that they really have an opportunity to give a lot of exposure to, which only creates more loyalty when it comes to the team, more connection to the players. You're pulling for people. You want to see them do well. When those players are then offered big deals or big endorsements, you know their backstory and you sort of root for them to have those opportunities. I think it's a really smart move. I'm surprised that we're not seeing more universities offer this opportunity to their coaches.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, next up is Img Academy, which I think is super interesting. They were sold to a private equity company, BPEA. It stands for Barring Private Equity Asia. So it's an Asia private equity company on top of this, and it's the private equity playbook. They're coming into college sports. Otro Capital is doing a big deal with Utah, and it's actually kind of blown up in the Utah space because they're giving a lot of the revenue away to private equity. And the Big 12 is doing this with Redbird Capital. They're giving a lot of money away on using credit lines and stuff like that to grow their NIL strategy. And so they're making money available, and private equity is coming in, swooping this up. So so it went for $1.25 billion is the point on this. So IMG sold for $1.25 billion, and they're a high school academy that feeds, the college system. And anyway, it's some big dollar amounts, and it's filtering down into high school because they're now the new college programs that are feeding the pros, which is now college. So private equity is here to get it.
Yeah, here to stay for sure. Making a splash, having an opinion and and directing where things are going. Let's stay in the land of professional sports and billion-dollar deals. And Steph Curry just did something incredibly interesting in China. So tell us what Steph is up to.
Yeah, so Steph just signed a huge contract. It's going to be worth about $1.1 billion. It's with Li-Ning. Most people have never heard of this shoe brand. It's based in Beijing. It's a $6 billion company, and they have 7,600 stores all over Asia. So they're a huge company. Just I don't think a whole lot of Americans know what this is. And Steph Curry is leaning into a global, brand. Chinese basketball is growing exponentially. They want basketball. It is incredibly popular over there. It's growing exponentially. And so these brands see the writing on the wall, and they also see the, notoriety that Steph has. And so they want him over there to help grow basketball in China. So I think it's super interesting. We had talked about Shohei Ohtani. He has a $700 million contract, but he's not going to get $680 million of it for 10 more years. Yet he's going to make $100 million from endorsement deals. So this is what we want to, educate all of our members to really think about is it's not so much about getting an NIL deal. If you're a college athlete and you want to get an NIL deal and you want to get paid to play, you actually don't have to get paid to play. You can get paid to endorse products, which is what these big brands are doing. That's what Jordan did. He played, he made a ton of money from Nike. It wasn't, from the Bulls necessarily. His contract for the Bulls was just peanuts compared to his Nike money. And it's the same thing with LeBron. LeBron plays for, has played for the Lakers for years, and he's made $1 billion from Nike. He's a global ambassador, lifetime global ambassador for Nike. He's made $1 billion, and that's from one brand. LeBron supports 49 different brands. He signed with Pepsi, Beats by Dre, GMC, Kia, Carlos Alcaraz. He's making $35 million a year playing tennis, and he is paid by Rolex, BMW, and Louis Vuitton. So he's winning some tournaments, and there is prize money, which is incredible, but he's number one in the world, and he's getting paid by brands. And this is what we really want to impart onto our athletes and our members. And this is what we encourage you and we help you to do is get out there and promote yourself, promote your brand, help give awareness to other brands, because there's global brands that want to be in the United States and they want athletes to, showcase what those brands are. They want to, have an athlete talk good about their brand, and they're going to pay for it. Kyrie Irving, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Derrick Rose, and Kevin Love are also all supporting Li-Ning, I think. So they've all signed contracts with them. But anyway, there's just the other one is Roger Federer, which I wanted to talk about because Roger Federer signed a $300 million deal. It's a 10-year, $300 million deal. Do you know what company it is? Just off the top of your head?
No, he's also retired. So it's amazing. So no, what
Adidas
company?
wanted him, Nike wanted him, all these brands wanted him, and Rolex wanted him. He said no to everybody. He chose one brand, and I bet nobody on this podcast can name the brand. It's called Uniqlo.
Never heard of it.
$300 million to promote a brand that most everybody doesn't know about. And this is why they pay money to athletes, is so that they get that brand awareness out there. And, Shohei Ohtani is promoting every single product under the sun. And it's because brands know that if they tie themselves with an association with a player, it's a good deal for the brand.
That's amazing. I'm just looking at the website right now, and it says the Roger Federer collection. That's so interesting.
Yeah, he really had a good feeling with the owner. He really liked his kind of bootstrapping his company. He started, I think it was in China too. He grew the company. He went to the United States. He got a little bit too big for his, pocketbook, had to scale back a little bit, grew the company a little bit more smartly, and then said, I really need somebody to help me with this brand. And he just really connected with Roger Federer. And Roger said, you know what? Forget Nike and Adidas. They have a lot of money and they have a lot of people. I'm just going to go to Uniqlo and help this brand grow using his, fame and his, his social reach. So I love it. And that's what we want to do for football players here. You can promote an app that helps concussion protocol, or you can, promote a business that helps people invest in, soccer clubs in Europe. If you're a flag football player, you can show your watch and how much you like it. And it might not be a brand anybody even knows. And you could still get paid 10 grand a month to promote this watch or sunglasses that nobody's ever heard of. And that's why they want to pay you to get that name and awareness out there.
Well, that's one of the things in Apex, for those of you that don't know about this part yet, is we do have a vendor marketplace. So for our members, that marketplace gives them access to discounts on products and services, but those vendors also have opportunities to post a gig. So if they want to do a new campaign for a summer launch, or they've got a discount going on, they want to just do a social campaign in general, or they want to do a new shoot for their website, they want to do a podcast, whatever it might be, they can post that gig available. It will have how much the athlete gets paid, the deliverables, the due date, all of the requirements, and then that gets pinged out to our members who are automatically matched based off of the criteria. So yes, the big marquee players are getting a lot of these opportunities, but this is also intended for all athletes to have that exposure to those brands, to have those opportunities to monetize what they're doing and to put a little money in their bank account that they might not otherwise have the opportunity to do. So it's amazing when like the big guys get something, but we're also cheering for all athletes to get something. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah. And, Texas is a great example of that. They have a huge NIL collective, and they could give it to their quarterback, Arch Manning, but he already has a ton of money, and he has 3 big deals that are going to pay him probably close to $6 million this year alone. And they said, you know what, instead of giving him another $3 million, let's spread out all of our NIL collective to the rest of the team to give him a good team so that we can all lift each other up. Because what difference does it make if, you have Arch Manning and you don't have anybody to catch the ball or block for him or run? You need the whole defense.
Crappy left tackle. Like, what's the point?
Yeah. So
all right. Well, in the land of the WNBA, terrible segue, but in the land of the WNBA, there's something about the $14 million going off to retired players. So what do we need to know about that?
Well, this is another value add for our athlete members. We have a little news feed on our app, and so you get news feeds on what applies to you. So if you're a college basketball player, or if you play WNBA, if you're in a semi-pro basketball league, you get news like this that applies to you. So it's curated directly for you. So if you're in the WNBA or played in the WNBA, you're going to get money. $14 million has been set aside as part of their collective bargaining agreement that they've agreed to pay retired WNBA players. So if you played for, I think it's 3 to 5 years, you're going to get 30 grand, 3 to a couple years more, you get 50 grand. And if you played for 7 years or more, I think it's 100 grand. So depending how long you played, you'll get a check from the league as part of a $14 million, back pay and part of the contractual share of the revenue kind of thing. So it's a nice thing to have been notified of. If you woke up and didn't know that this was happening, this is why you join us. And this is why you share this podcast with other athletes so that people get, educated and are aware of all the opportunities to get paid.
Absolutely. And at the same time that there's back pay going to retired players, we've also got Otro, who's going through some big changes as a branding company. So what's happening with the Otro Capital right now?
So this is interesting because we covered this in an earlier podcast. Otro Capital took over several of the money-making aspects of Utah athletics. So now that they have their hands entrenched and they have the boosters investing in Otro Capital private equity group that has taken over the money-making aspects of Utah, now Utah is laying off employees in the athletic department because Otro Capital is a money-making venture, and they said, we don't need your staff, so you're out. So it's creating such huge backlash. It's on all the channels I follow. It's in the Salt Lake, City newspapers every day. People are really pissed off about Utah and what they've done. They've sold themselves out to private equity. It's happening all over the country. There's some schools that are, not taking this, enticement by private equity, TCU and Baylor being one of them. They said, no, we're not going to take your money because we don't like the terms, but Utah did. And now it's really biting them in the butt. Now they're laying off people.
Well, let's talk about a coach who's never short of opinions, attitude, always reminds me of a relative of Al Pacino. Rick Patino.
Rick Patino, what a legend. He's turned St. John's around. I know that you had St. John's to be in the Final Four.
I sure did.
They did. And that was awesome. That was fun to see. And now he said he's doubling down and he wants to go back. And he said, what is it going to take? And he said, Tunde Yesafu, I think it is. He was an NBA contender. He left Baylor to go to the NBA, and then he changed his mind. And Rick Patino said, $7 million, bud, I want you on my team. So he went to St. John's, $7 million, highest NCAA basketball player in history.
And how do you say no to Rick Patino? Like, you just can't. The man's on the sideline in a full freaking suit, tie on. I mean, like, you just can't. Hands behind his back, classic Rick Patino style. If he says you come play for me, I'll give you $7 million. It's like, yes, sir.
Absolutely. The NBA is not going anywhere. In fact, he probably would have taken a pay cut for the first 2 or 3 years to go, because the big money in the NBA is your second contract. I mean, you get in, you prove yourself, and you move up and you get a big one if you're still there a couple years later. But what a smart move. I think Tunde is going to really have fun this year being in college, playing for him.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And you're playing for Rick Pitino. I mean, come on. Like, of course, you say yes.
You're going to start. Yeah, you're going to get a ton of minutes. If you went to the Memphis Grizzlies, you might be sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
You go to the Knicks. I mean, you get traded. You're not going to get any playing time. Now you get to be the center and the star and get all that money and notoriety and just build that resume and have fun. And speaking of the NBA, I don't think we have it on our list, but the NBA just announced their cities in Europe today, and they're expanding with 12 to 16 teams. I didn't see all the news, but they just announced it. They're expanding to Europe. So this is going to be crazy. The amount of money that's going to go over to Europe and the NBA. They want to expand to Europe, and it's happening.
Well, and there's no shortage of places to play overseas, and not just in basketball, but in baseball, in football. I think one of the things that we've really stumbled upon in the last couple of weeks is how much opportunity there is for people to play overseas. And this is something for you as a player that you didn't know about when you were making your decisions from college about playing baseball, because I don't think you ever knew that Japanese baseball was an option. So talk about all the different leagues, all the different countries, like what is happening in the overseas landscape when it comes to professional athletics.
Yeah, well, I played college baseball 30 years ago, and it was at a small college. And I thought, man, I do not want to get drafted and go travel around on a bus. I would have absolutely went to Japan and played. So lots of opportunities in Japan. So we're teaming up with a couple different companies. We're talking to 3 or 4 right now that place players around the country. So this is another reason why you join Apex. So you get access to getting opportunities to try out and learn about what is available. So I just did a TikTok yesterday. If you're not following me, it's Ice9 Sports on TikTok, and I cover all these news and a lot of these stories. My video from yesterday got 5,300 views as of today, one day. And the one that really hit was the opportunities to play baseball in Japan. So the Nippon Professional Baseball League, you and I went to the Hiroshima Carp and Tokyo Giants game just a month ago, and we had an absolute blast. We were sitting there on the third baseline watching the Hiroshima Carp go absolutely crazy in the stands. It was so fun. There was 2 baseball players on the team from the United States. On the Tokyo Giants, there was 2 players, and all 4 of them independently are all making $1 million apiece. So we pulled up their contract, and if you're on a team over there, it basically pays $1 million. So they limit the amount of foreigners that can play on the team. But several of the teams that that we're talking to are wanting to expand, and they're changing the rules because it's better for the game if there's more Americans over there. It's really good. We got really good players, and it's opportunities over there that they want. And so that's super exciting. And then the KBO League in South Korea, they make about 500 grand. The CPBL is the China Professional Baseball League, and they're based out of Taiwan. We're talking with a guy right now who places players over there. And then the LMB, the League of Mexico Baseball, is the Mexican Baseball League, and they're really a AAA equivalent of the United States. I mean, they're basically AAA level. You know, they feed into the MLB, and there's a lot of guys that are associated with that league in the MLB. So it's a nice filter to get into the MLB if you still want to. It keeps you playing, it keeps you getting developed, and Mexico's a phenomenal place to be and play, and we love Mexico. I mean, it is a great
fans, right? Like, you're never going to get cheered for louder than when you walk into any sort of stadium in Mexico. Like, it's just, it fills you with goosebumps.
They love sports. And then the ABL, the Australian Baseball League, if that's, you know, something that people want to do, we have contacts on that. So another reason to join and get some information and, you know, create those opportunities for yourself. And it really creates an alternate lifestyle that you wouldn't otherwise have thought was even available. I would have went to Australia and played when I was 19 years old. If somebody said, hey, I'm going to pay you 10 grand a month or 20 grand a month to go play baseball in Sydney, Australia.
Yes.
There's my ticket.
It's like saying yes to Rick Patino. You say yes. You say absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
The cost of living, I mean, $1 million in Japan is going to take you a long way.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, 100%. And then, so the other video I did and the other opportunities right now in Europe is for football. So if you're a football player, we have Jack Del Rio is one of the coaches for the Paris team. And so there's two leagues. There's the AFLE, the American Football League of Europe, which is really competitive. They have Vienna, they have Berlin, they have a bunch of teams, and a lot of guys are going over there from the Canadian Football League are headed over there. They love to recruit from Canada. So if you played any kind of Canadian football league, they have a strong filter to bring athletes there. And then we know some even local kids that played football in Arizona are playing over there. And then the EFA, the European Football Alliance. And there's really good football. There's a bunch of teams, and you know, they're wanting Americans to come over and play. So put it on your radar.
There's no shortage of it. And this is some of the things that you guys will figure out and learn when you're a member with Apex. I'm just going to plug the crap out of this as much as I can, because all this information is put into one place for you. So from the news around the world, everything you need to know, it's all there. Opportunities with vendors are there, your budget calculators, your social media strategy that is unique to you. So you actually put in your statistics, what your goals are, and then your plan gets created. So it's not generic. It's super, super custom. And $10 a month. I mean, you literally can't beat it. I don't have my card handy because I keep it in the car, but you also get your actual physical membership card that you can tap on anybody's phone, and it will give you access that gives that person access directly to your profile, so they can talk to you, be in touch with you, and they can always look for you directly if they're posting a gig.
Yeah, here it is. I got it. I had to dig in my bag to get it, but there you go. So your Apex card, you tap this on the phone of anybody that you want to share your social media stuff with, and it allows you to for them to see and get a hold of you, and like, oh, I love your social media. We really connect. We have a lot of like-minded things, and you know, we're talking with the women's professional football league right now, and there's a lot of girls over there playing, and they have kids. They might be 30 years old, and they're playing professional baseball or football, tackle football, and the Super Bowl equivalent, their championship is coming up. It's June 21st, so I want to call that out. It's June 21st. Check it out. They just signed a deal with ESPN2 to broadcast it, so you can watch it on ESPN2. And we're really looking forward to having a lot of the professional women's football players join us, and we're going to give them this card for $30, and for $10 a month, they get all the different resources, and they just go tap, you know, with the different brands that they want to work with. And as they are at home with the kids on off season and they're working out and they're at the gym and they can do videos and stuff and promote, different brands on the off season and make money from the brands by promoting them. It's good awareness of, the professional football leagues. They're going to want, the athletes to be out there promoting this opportunity because not a whole lot of people know about it. I've talked to a lot of people recently about this women's football league, and nobody seems to know that it's a thing, and it's gaining popularity though. And I think it's going to be incredible. So that's another opportunity for athletes to join and get value from apexathletes.ai.
100%. Before we sign off, let's take a look at our features available just one more time.
Welcome to Apex, the premier private membership association built exclusively for the modern athlete. This is your command center, designed to elevate your career, your brand, and your future. Take control of your earnings from day one. Our brand partnership tax calculator instantly estimates your liabilities, mapping out quarterly payments so you are never caught off guard. With the Athlete Budget Builder, financial literacy becomes second nature. Track your guaranteed income, manage expenses, and watch your monthly surplus grow as you build real wealth. Are you truly ready for the next level? Assess your professional readiness dynamically. Track everything from contract literacy and representation to player rights and health coverage. Unlock your market value. Our social media growth planner builds a customized 3, 6, 9, or 12-month strategy for your sport, providing content pillars and roadmaps to attract premier brand partnerships. Stay ahead of the game with The Edge. Access curated industry insights and leverage our proprietary AI Envoy to analyze complex contracts and sports business news instantly. Enjoy exclusive member-only perks from the world's leading brands, elevate your profile, build your inner circle, and claim your edge. Welcome to the Apex family.
We are genuinely so excited for this membership to be available. For any athletic director that might be watching this is episode 5. It is June 4th today. Ben and I are going to be up in Vegas next week for the conference. So if you want to connect with us at all, you can always reach out to Ben at apexathletes.ai. Let us know that you want us to stop by and grab a drink or just sit and talk about this, because as an athletic director, you're responsible for all your sports. And some of the colleges out there have over 30 sports available for their student athletes. And this is something that is offered or offerable to every single athlete at your school. If they're on your surf team, if they're part of your dance and cheer team, if they're part of your tennis, golf team, if they're a wrestler, a swimmer, a diver, synchronized swimmer, water polo, pick a sport. This is not for just our football, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball players. This is for everybody. And at $10 a month, it's something that the school can choose to subsidize for their entire athletic department, or you can simply pass it along and give every single athlete an amazing resource that's wildly affordable, that will give everybody an opportunity to have brand exposure, to have social media development, to have budget development, financial literacy, direct access to the NCAA rules, guidelines, updates. I mean, it is jam-packed kitchen sink full of information in one place.
Yeah, for everybody that wants to give back to the athlete in their life, it's actually a great gift, because instead of giving them a black card that they go spend with, this is the black card that they go earn with. So you give this to your daughter, you give this to your girlfriend, who's an athlete, and now she goes out and she promotes brands, and you can be proud to support her. You can tag her on all your social media. You guys can grow a business together, and instead of spending, you're earning. So I really like that.
I've never heard us say that before, and that is so good, because you're exactly right. It's not the card that costs you anything. It's the card that earns you everything. So this is episode 5. We're super excited. We'll see you guys in Vegas if you're an athletic director next week. Otherwise, we'll catch you back in the Clubhouse for episode 6, and we're looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks, Stacey. Well done.